all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chelsea and I hope this is a place where you can feel at home. I like to discuss home decor ideas on a budget, specifically, living life simply, and learning how to make the best with the things that we already have. I'll be the first to tell you that I am not a minimalist. I'm also not a maximalist, but I do love certain things in my home. I do have a few collections that I love. I have a lot of books. I have a lot of other things that I enjoy. So I'm definitely not a minimalist. However, in the past few years, I have really resonated with a lot of the ideals of minimalism, being more intentional about the things I bring into my home, making sure that I truly love the items, and trying not to fall for the marketing tactics, a lot of stores, and how they try to get me to buy things. Something I realized a few years ago was that I just really had a problem with shopping. I really am just a sucker for a good display. I love the changeover of all of the colors and the scents and everything. And that is no exception when it comes to fall decor. I love fall. I feel like everyone now is an autumn girly, but I definitely have always been. And so this season is just something that I always look forward to every year. And I used to look forward to every year in the stores. I would wait for the day when they would switch all of the school supplies over and bring out all of the fall decor, all of the candles. I would start seeing all of the creamers that would be pumpkin flavored. And I would just know that it was time to get cozy. However, in the past couple of years, I have noticed that a lot of the things that are being pulled out to be sold are not things that I actually associate with fall, or are even good quality items to buy for repeated use year after year. I know for me, traditionally, the holidays and seasonal items for my family was always a repeated event. So we'd pull out the same decorations year after year for fall, for Christmas, and these were things that were really good quality and like heavy duty and really could last for multiple years and decades. With that in mind, I've noticed that a lot of the items that are being sold in the stores now are just not the same quality. So today I have a list of things that I am not going to buy for fall. And this includes things that I absolutely did not want to buy upon sight and things that I was definitely tempted by. And then I also have a list of items that I am going to buy this fall, just to kind of balance it out, just to be a little bit more realistic. So one of the things I will not be buying this year, I was so tempted by this cute maple wreath. I saw this in the store and I love the burgundy color of it. I love that rich red. And I liked how it wasn't like a bright red. And I just thought this was so cute. It was perfect for fall and so like spooky looking for Halloween. And then I saw that price tag and y'all, I got like intense sticker shock because that wreath was the most plastic light thing that I've ever, that I've like possibly ever held. And like, I know it's for outside, but it just was so flimsy, and it just, upon feeling it and then seeing the price tag, I just absolutely knew I could not buy it. If it was on sale for like $10, I would maybe consider it because it was like really cute and in my style of fall things, but for that much money, there's absolutely no way I'm doing that. So instead of getting the cute maple wreath, I'm just gonna keep using the wreath that I have currently. It's fall colors. It's got some like fake fall plants on it and it still hits the vibe. It's not exactly the maple leaf one, but it still works for what I need it to do. Another thing I'm not going to be buying for fall decor is any fall decor that says the words fall or autumn or pumpkin patch on them, especially if they're made out of particle board. Having the word fall on a sign in my house does not really evoke the feeling of fall for me. It just kind of feels like a task to remind myself that it's fall, which feels a lot less fun and a lot less cozy to me. I don't really have an alternative for fall signs other than just not putting up fall signs. I do have things like, I don't know if you can see it, but my husband made this cute little cross-stitch art piece from over the garden wall, and it's beautiful. So that's something I'll definitely put up instead. You could make something or Have a friend make something for you that like feels like fall and is cozy, and then put that up instead. The third thing I'm not going to be buying this year are table settings that have leaves or pumpkins on them. When I see those things, I know it's kind of like the signs, how it says fall on it. Like it's a table runner and it has a pumpkin on it, so it's fall. And I just don't feel like that evokes the same cozy fall vibes to me. It just feels very like, don't forget, this is fall, kind of like a reminder instead of just like a feeling of fall. Instead of pictures of leaves and things on table settings, I like to opt for more just like general oranges, general cranberries, colors, just solid colors, maybe like a plaid pattern, something that can evoke the coziness and the colors of fall without pumpkins. Just straight on the table setting. Plus I found it's pretty easy to find like plaid type options or just a solid color option at thrift stores. It's just a lot easier to find the solid colored things and a lot cheaper too. This one is kind of a hot topic. I feel like it's going to be kind of unpopular, but I am not going to buy any fall scented candles or essential oils that are specifically marketed for fall. Now with the candles, it's kind of sad. I used to love Bath & Body Works candles. I would go for the candle sale every year and I would get a bunch and burn them all year round. And then recently, I kind of took a break from them just to, I don't know, they were kind of expensive, so I just didn't buy them. And then I went back into the store and I did buy one and I brought it home and it gave me the worst headache. And that could just be me getting older. You know, I could totally admit that. I am like getting a little bit older, but it just smelled so fake to me in my home. And then having the headache really just sealed the deal for me. I can't have any artificial scents in candles now in my home. So then I know what you're thinking, well, just get the essential oils. However, I have tried the essential oils. I've tried them and I am not the kind of person who is on top of a diffuser. I cannot handle it. It's too much work for me. I'm sorry, it's too much work for me. And I live in a humid climate, and just like putting more humidity into the air in my house, it kind of seems like a silly thing to be doing in where I live with the home that I have. It's just like humidity, 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 and then I'm gonna add more humidity while my husband's running a dehumidifier. It just seems like a really silly thing to be doing. So I'm not gonna be doing that anymore. Instead, I have decided to do essential oils in a room spray. So I can go through each room and spray with the scent that I want, and it's not like diffusing in the air. And then again, I know what you're saying, well, just buy the fall themed essential oils. And to that I say again, no. I feel like autumn and fall is kind of like Christmas, where there are very specific smell triggers for each person that makes it nostalgic for the time. So I haven't been able to find any blends that are specifically fall scented for me and what I'm looking for. So I'm just gonna be sticking with plain old orange and vanilla for my essential oils because I cannot find any scents that actually smell like fall to me. The fifth thing I am not going to be buying this year are fall sweaters. Not just fall themed sweaters, but just sweaters in general. That is something that I do not need to add. I have like 3 sweaters now. I do have some little sweater vests, which I think is a good compromise. But as much as I love sweaters, it's just not practical with where I'm at right now. So I'm just not going to be participating in that for fall. The 6th thing I'm not going to be buying this year are any fall flavored syrups. And that's because it's actually really easy just to make it yourself at home. And I've been doing that for the past 3 years and it saved me a lot of money. It makes my house smell so good. I feel like I savor them more because it took me some time to make it. So I'm not just like pouring a ton into my coffee every morning. So I feel like it kind of like carries through the season a little bit longer versus just buying the creamers or the syrups that are already pre-made. The 7th thing I'm not going to be buying this year are fall scented lotions and soaps, and I even saw a shampoo. And that is just a personal preference where, again, it comes back to that fake kind of smell where it kind of gives me a headache. But then also, like, I just don't really like to smell like pumpkin. I like to smell like pumpkin smells. I like to smell pumpkin pie, but I don't like to be the pumpkin pie, and that's a personal preference for everybody. So you'll have to make that decision yourself. But for me, I just don't like to smell like food. Another good reason why is I just cannot go through those fast enough for the season. And so then you have this whole bar of soap of pumpkin scented like shampoo or whatever, but then it turns to Christmas time and you know you're gonna wanna like be putting like the pepperminty type on instead. And so for me, it just doesn't really make a lot of practical sense. I just cannot work through the items fast enough, and then they'll totally expire by the next year. So it's just better off for me to have a more consistent scent and go with that. The 8th thing that I'm not going to be buying this year is kind of a big one for me, but I'm not gonna be buying any fall mugs this year, and that's because I feel like my collection is totally complete with the ones that I have. I have been buying fall mugs every year for probably the last 7 years, which sounds kind of insane when I say it out loud, but I finally have all of the mugs that I've been looking for. I have a little cauldron mug, I have a jack-o'-lantern mug, I have a couple ghosts, I have a pumpkin lady mug, so I feel like all of my fall mugs are covered. I don't really need any more mugs, so I'm going to not participate in that this year. The 9th thing that I'm not going to be buying this year for fall is fall-specific pillows, and that is because I already have some orange pillow covers, like pillow cases that go on my throw pillows. I bought these years ago. I put them in all of my fall decor with the box, and I pull it out every year and I get so excited to put my little orange pillowcases on. So there's not really any need for me to buy a specific pumpkin pillow. I also have found when I have bought themed pillows in the past that they're really hard to store. You can keep them in a container, but then they kind of can get smelly and it's hard to keep them clean. So I just opted for the pillowcases because you can just zip them on, zip them off. You can give them a good wash before and after you store them. And I just think that's a better option. I also have seen some really cute things on Pinterest where people have sewn beading onto their pillowcases. I've done that before with like some Christmas ones, and I've seen where they've done embroidery as well, and I just think that's so cute. It would be a really easy option, and then embroidering a really cute thing onto it would be so cute. And finally, number 10, the 10th thing that I'm not gonna be buying this year are any fake pumpkins. So full disclosure, I do have 2 fake jack-o'-lanterns for outside that we put on our stoop, but I don't have any fake pumpkins in my home. I always prefer real ones when I do get them. I always get them kind of later in the year just because we wait till the first day of fall to start decorating. I just love the look of a real pumpkin. You can totally tell a difference, especially in person. Maybe not so much in pictures, but in person, the texture's all wrong when it comes to the fake ones, and it kind of just makes me sad. Plus, I also like not having to store a bunch of fake pumpkins, which is really nice and easy. So those are 10 things I'm not going to buy this year, but I did mention there are some things I am gonna buy this year, and I did want to share those with you today. I'm not a total fuddy-duddy. I do buy some things. There are some things I do buy every year that I have just acknowledged this is part of my life. So one thing that we did buy this year already was a skeleton. We have bought 3 skeletons so far since we moved here, and I like to set them up in the front yard and have them kind of play out a little vignette scene. And it's just so much fun to set them up. We put clothes on them, and it's just a really fun Halloween activity, and I think the neighbors get a pretty big kick out of it. We've had a few of them tell us about how they like our skeletons and stuff. So I just really enjoy that, and I think it's a fun way to decorate outside that's pretty easy but still really festive. The second thing that I will be buying this year are mums, and I know like a lot of people I know a lot of people buy mums, but I also know there's a lot of people who hate that people buy mums. And I love buying mums. I just accept every year they are going to die because of the heat. I really love them. I love putting them on my little stoop with my little jack-o'-lanterns, and I just think it's so cute. And I just accept that they're not gonna make it. They're just not gonna make it past the fall, and that is just a part of the experience. The third thing I am gonna buy this year are plants that need to be in the ground during the fall, so plants that need to be transplanted during the fall. I have a few plants on my list. I've been building up my flower beds since we bought our house a few years ago. We've mostly been working on the inside, and so it's been really fun to start thinking about the outside, which means that this fall I can buy a couple of new plants to transplant, and so I'm definitely going to participate in that. And that's something that does genuinely feel like fall to me, is going to the little plant nurseries, and they always have a lot of pumpkins and mums, and they have all kinds of plants that are ready for fall transplant, and I just love that experience. It's kind of like, it's almost, but not really, it's kind of like going to the pumpkin patch for me. It has the same kind of cozy vibe, and I really enjoy the plant nursery that we have locally, so we'll definitely be doing that. Finally, the last thing I am going to buy this year are real pumpkins. I said earlier that I don't buy fake pumpkins, and that's because I do buy real ones. I know this is a cost that comes up every single year. I know the reusable ones are more cost effective. However, I don't have the storage for the fake ones, and for me, buying the real ones every year is just part of what we do, part of our family tradition that we do. We display them from the first day of fall in September all the way through Thanksgiving in our home. They get a few months of decor use, and then we do have chickens. So after the pumpkins are done here, we'll kind of chop them up a little bit and throw them to the chickens. And that feels like a fun little treat for them as well. So those are a few things that I'm not gonna be buying this year, which if you would have talked to me like 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, past me would have been shocked to know that I'm not buying some of those things, because I just genuinely loved buying fall decor and being a part of the fall hype and getting all of the treats and getting all of the coffee syrups and everything. And so I feel like, I don't know if is this like what getting older is like? I don't know, but for me, when I think of autumn and fall, I just have other things I think of with nostalgia, and it's just no longer tied to the store. It's tied to more experiences. It's tied to more feelings and evoking feelings in others and seeing their reactions and participating in things together as a community and making more sustainable choices. And when I walk into the stores now, I just kind of get a little bit overwhelmed by how much stuff there is. It's also overwhelming too, just realizing that I just don't really like that same stuff anymore. And I hope if you're wanting to save money, if you're wanting to, I don't know, just take your decor in a different direction, I hope this list was helpful. I hope I provided some alternatives for you that you enjoyed, and I don't know. Are there things that you're not going to buy? Are there things you are going to buy? Did you disagree with my list? I would love to know. Be sure to comment down below with your ideas, and be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.